Okay, my connection is slow, so I don't know if anybody came in. Do, 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 do. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening. Coming live to do part 3. Part 1 was last year, and then that was part 2. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening. So this will be part 3. And hopefully somebody won't think that they're crazy. Good evening, good evening. I got a few minutes, about 3 minutes. Let everybody get in. But they won't think that they're crazy. And I would say grab your tea, grab you something to drink. I know for myself this time I have something to drink. And this live will not be long at all. I believe maybe that it won't be long. And family, can you hear me? Let's see. I rolled that too far back. But I literally just will finish up because there were things that I did not say in the last live that probably should have been said, that I didn't say. Literally, the Loa, the spirits, my ancestors as well, let me know that I didn't say certain things. So those things I will say. Without getting my little John off. And y'all let me know if you can hear me. That way I can check the volume and make sure that this Bluetooth is good. So please let me know if you can hear me. I don't know what that was. Okay, cool. All right, I got about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and start. Because there was quite a few things that I did leave out that I was told to go back and tell. It's one thing for sure. There's a good side of spirituality. And then there's another side when you just run up on it and you rush and you go about it wrong. There's another side. And it's important that it come out as well. Well, it's just 5 o'clock. I was waiting until a few more people get in here. But because I can't see who's all in here, not unless I click another button to see, and then I have a slow connection. So I'm going to say it at the beginning, I do appreciate everybody coming in. Could have been doing anything else, but yet you have come in. And I'm grateful for that. Could have been doing anything else. but I just want to help people not feel crazy either, and that you don't feel like that you are basically thinking what you see, you didn't see it or you didn't hear it. But I'm gonna jump right into it. Uh, Things that happen. What I didn't say was when I was younger. Was about when I saw the dead when I was older. Um, I remember. I don't think I ever told this about my uncle Johnny. I think I did tell this story, but my uncle Johnny, first he knew that he was leaving the earth. He knew that he was departing out of the physical body. He knew that he was departing. Um, the night that I saw it, saw him. I was doing a dance move, and I couldn't have been no more than about, what was I believe I was 15 or 16, somewhere in there. When I seen him, but when I seen him, he didn't have any eyes, and he looked like he was standing at attention. And that night, it was the weekend. I was getting my dance on. And when I say my dance on, I mean I was 10 hours strong in just dancing. And literally, when I seen him, I was trying to figure out why he didn't have no eyes. Um, I was always trying to figure that out. Why he didn't have any eyes. Why was he standing like that? I remember taking off running. And when I took off running down the stairs, I delivered the message on the way out the door because it freaked me out that he didn't have any eyes. Out of all the things, he didn't have any eyes at all. Literally, he didn't have not one. And I remember saying, why didn't he have any eyes? And why was he standing at attention? Just it always puzzled me. Even to this day, it still puzzles me why he didn't have. Now, what was crazy was literally to go back, because I really got to go backwards. At the age of 5, it was some things that I didn't say. Yeah, I caught myself putting them down there, but for some reason, it's like we all have to do it twice or repeatedly because Facebook, for some reason, doesn't do them. But good evening to the next person that came in. I got a slow connection, so I don't see quite who it is. But welcome back or welcome into the live. And I remember when I was younger, I failed to mention about the angels that I saw. I remember my mother would send me to the store. And every time I would go to the store, there will always be some man or woman there at the store. And when I say at the store, like it would be somebody you didn't recognize, you didn't see. And in Blytheville, because I was in the States as well, in Blytheville, Arkansas, it's a one horse town. You kind of know everybody. Everybody know everybody. But these people I did not know. And I remember I would go to the store and they would buy gobs of candy, gobs of this, gobs of that. Now, y'all, when they would buy it, the person behind the counter, just as well as me, would see them and would get the money. And we would both look. I would get a wink of the eye. They would wink that one eye. And they would go every time. And it would always be someone different. It wasn't till later on in life that I realized that I was seeing angels. That I was literally seeing angels. So I was like, okay. So you're literally seeing angels. It didn't dawn on me until then. I couldn't have been no more than, oh my God, 12. And even at the age of 5, I would see angels. They would tell me, don't play over there, play over here. And I would play over where they told me to play at. And I would find out later that if I would have played in that area for as long as I really wanted to play at that time, I'd be wanting to stay out there 2 and 3 hours. There will always be some kind of car wreck or somebody gets a fight in there, or it would always be some kind of altercation that would happen right there. And the spot they tell me to move from. And sure enough, I would hear about it later. But by this time, I got used to my family calling me a liar. I got used to them saying stuff. So I would never tell them what I saw. But these are some of the things that I left out of the live due to the fact I just completely forgot to mention it. I really did. And one time, now I vaguely remember this, and I don't know why, because it happened to me, but I don't know why I vaguely remember it. But when I was in Peoria, Illinois, I was doing family union time, I believe, and I was playing in the dirt, and there was this boy. Just shoved me, caught me off guard, shoved my head into the sand. Now, I don't know which one of my cousins ran over there to get the young man, but I remember seeing nothing but light. And I think I was 5, 6, or 7 years old during this time. But I kind of vaguely remember as I was a kid. And literally, I remember seeing this bright light. Literally. And when I seen the bright light, it went away, and so did the kid. I don't know if my cousins had chased him off. I don't know if they even saw that bright light. I just remember that happening. I don't know what caused that to happen. I don't know what made the kid want to jump on me. Have no idea. But I was a little scrawny little something. But I have no idea what made that escalate. Good evening, good evening. I got a slow connection. I'm just telling the things that I left out of the last live because I got told by the Spirit that I left this out, that I left out a lot of things. So I'm literally telling them now. This would be part 3. I think I did one last year when I was giving the moral to the stories. Because in all of this, I would say this: for those that are seeing things, just don't think you're crazy. You're really seeing what you're seeing. You're really seeing what you're seeing. Don't think you're crazy. Don't think you lost your mind. These are encounters that happen at different times in my life. I'm not going to say they all happened at once because they did it. They was all at different segments of times in my life. Now, I'm not going to say that everybody, good evening, good evening, good evening, welcome, good evening, fam. I'm not going to say that they all happened like in 1 year or this and that. It was different times, different ages. So I'm not going to say that. But these are things that I left out of the live in the last one. And I got reminded by the spirits what I left. So what I left out. Because there are certain stories I always tell. Hey, cousin. I always tell. That I literally don't tell these. So these are the ones that I always leave out because these encounters, I didn't know how to explain them. I was like, who am I supposed to tell this to? Like, what I'm supposed to say? Like, that angel brought me there. Because there was a few times I didn't have any money when those angels was buying the stuff that I needed. I didn't have no money, nobody's money. There were a few times I didn't even understand how I was being protected at all. Some of the stuff I couldn't even explain what I saw. I couldn't even explain to you why I hate at that time, but now knowing, even when I met negative spirits that came in that had levitated me out of the bed, and I was literally on the ceiling, like I could look down. And then there was times where I was snatched out of my body, and they were trying to hold me there so that I would literally, as they said, that I would literally die. That if they hold me a certain amount of time, then I couldn't get back in my body. And I remember having a fight to get out of that. But I remember having to call on Jesus, having to say a prayer. I remember having to do a lot. And at that time, I knew nothing of a spiritual bath. I just knew, being young, age of 5, I just knew that the baths, whatever my grandmother did with those herbs, and that's what I knew at the time. Whatever she did with those herbs, that's what I was supposed to do. Like when she made one, I was thinking I have this one in this bottle. It wasn't until later that I asked her what was those, and she would say spiritual baths. She would tell me that's why you would sleep so well. That's why you would relax. That's why you felt better. And at that time, I was learning. But that was when I was younger. And I asked questions. Good evening, welcome, welcome, welcome. Since I can't see, good evening, good evening. But literally, these are things that I left out of the last live that the spirits said that I did not tell, and that it was important for me to tell these things because people are seeing angels and different spirits and thinking they crazy. Why so early? Well, number one, I got to a quiet place where I was able to tell without somebody interrupting me, without people walking in the background and carrying on. I had to find me a quiet spot. So this is one of the reasons why so early. And then I always do my lives late at night. And so this time I wanted to go live a little bit earlier. Just a little bit. That way everybody have time to come on, have time to do what they do. So that's why it's so early. That's why it's so early. That's giving everybody a chance to come in and because they was fussing at me like, go on, do it now, and I'm like, oh Jesus, okay, so let me get it done. Welcome, welcome, good evening, fam, good evening, Brand Abundance Unlimited. So literally, it's just to help people not feel that they're crazy, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know about y'all, but I felt like I didn't fit in anywhere. I felt like I was always out of place. And then I'm gonna tell you, I'm about to clock out of work. Okay, that's what's up. I said, yeah, I did. Yeah, it's 5 my time, but it's 6 on the East Coast. Usually I be about 7 or 8, and usually that's 8 or 9. But yeah, tonight they was like, get on there. But yeah, it's early, and then this is a quiet place that I can do this without having too many interruptions. Okay, that's what's up. Too many interruptions, too many phone calls. That they don't start. Hey fam, and literally, when I tell you that I remember this one time, there was a man, and the guy would just come in like he was just walking in, and he would be doing his thing. He would be moving stuff around. Uh, Literally, for one while, I thought this man was a living being. I thought this was a person. At the time, I was about 15 years old. I thought this person was a living being because he would move stuff around. Like he would help you pick the stuff up, set it over to the side. Like, dude would really help you. So I'm really thinking, dude is living, breathing, human. Why one day he disappeared like this in my face? I looked, I said, wait a minute, Jesus. I know I'm not fucking crazy. I said it just like that. And my mother was in the other room. She said, what you said? I said, oh, nothing. Mm-mm. I said, but I do got a question. She said, yeah. I said, did you see the man that walked into the room by any chance? She said, no. I ain't see nobody. I said, okay. And she said, why you ask? I said, oh, no particular reason. Just curious. I said, maybe, tripping, as always. I let my mom walk out the room. God rest her soul. I'm sure now she's probably looking like, So that man was dead. Literally. Y'all, that man finally told me where he came from. Now, this may creep some folks out. It may not creep y'all out, but it may creep some folks out. I used to love to go to sleep in the graveyard. Got to give you the backstory to the man. I would love to go to sleep in the graveyard, and it would rejuvenate me. At that age, it would rejuvenate me. Like I would go and walk way across town to go to this one particular graveyard to go to sleep. And I would come in and say, I don't want nothing. I just want to go to sleep. It's just so peaceful. It's just so restful. It was just restful. It was peaceful. Like it was cool. So for me, that's what I wanted to do. Go to sleep. And I would literally lay down. Now, Had no idea that the man had attached himself to me. No clue. Okay? I was just resting. I would be there like 6, 7 hours sleeping in the graveyard. It would get dark and everything, and I would wake up, yawn, like, oh, that's the best rest I ever had in my life, and would get up and leave and go home. Had no idea that the man that was dead, that was next to the tree that I was sleeping by, was him. And he explained to me, he said, you have such a sweet spirit. I followed you home. I know you don't like that. I know you didn't know, but I followed you home. He said, I wanted to help you. Now that man, don't get me wrong, blessings was coming out of everywhere. Everywhere. Like, I would literally get money. I would literally get stuff. Like anything that I was thinking or I asked for, it would come. It would literally come. And this man, who I thought was a human being, because he would help me pick up, move the furniture, he would help me. He would help me clean up and everything. And the man never said, hey, yo, I'm dead. I was wondering why everybody didn't see him. Because it was like in the nick of time, like when we was cleaning up the living room one time and we was rearranging the furniture. In the nick of time, everything would be rearranged. And he would literally put it to the side, and then he would just disappear. Like, he would disappear. And when I say disappear, like, bro wouldn't, like he was gone in the nick of time. And everybody would come in, oh, this look nice. And that's a nice way you set it up. And, you know, they would make their insults as well. But they would tell me, it is nice the way you set it up. And I was like, bruh, good evening, good evening. I was like, okay. Why did he disappear? Good evening, what's up, sis? And he would literally disappear. And good evening. And when he would disappear, nobody would ever mention him. And at that time, I never thought about it twice. But he came out of the graveyard that I literally. But see, that's the thing. I didn't think nothing of it. I thought he was human, so I was like, okay, he must went in the other room. But you know how you sitting there and you waiting? But the funny thing of it is, when everybody would leave, he would come right back. He never did anything out of the way. He wasn't disrespectful. Like, he helped with everything. He was even helping me understand my homework. That's just how crazy it was. And I would still go to the graveyard, go to sleep. Because I had a thing with, until I heard a voice tell me, you got to stop going so frequently to the graveyard. And I was like, bruh, come on now. That's my lax time. That's my chill time. Like, people don't bother me. They don't even know what the heck I be doing. You know, I'm over there trying to explain myself. Literally, he would always appear again. But after a while, I started noticing that he's appearing after people leave. He's appearing after, you know, and no one ever said the same thing. You know, no one said anything. Like, no one ever said anything. And at this time, I didn't think of it. I was like, this is just the norm, you know. So when he began to explain that he had long died, he started to explain the history of Bly Bill. He started explaining different things, and he said, now back in my time, he said they had us as slaves. And it was, he said, like, part of Blyville was the South, part of Blyville was the North. These, as far as history went in Arkansas at the time. And he was like, yeah, I'm dead. The tree that you sleep by, my grave is right there. And he said, I know it's disrespectful to, leave, but you had such a sweet spirit. And you just seemed so nice. I was wondering why you didn't fit in with your family. And I was like, I don't know what it is. I said, but it's like in life, I'm sitting here talking to him. Like we had everyday conversations. So I'm answering his question like, okay, you dead. I'm used to seeing dead people. I'm like, why you ain't tell me? It's not like I was gonna run or anything. I just would have understood better. And he was like, but he said, because I was telling him I felt cheated in life. Like, there's some secrets, there's some stuff that I don't know. He said, you will find that all out in time. That when you start accepting your path and your purpose, when you start to go a little deeper, but in certain lessons in life, you gotta learn. But you are not the usual. Good evening, good evening. He was like, you're not the usual. So don't get it twisted. You're not the usual. And I said, what do you mean I'm not the usual? What's up, fam? It was like, you're not the usual. The things that has happened, those things happen in the occurrences of God. And I said, what is the occurrences of God? And he was like, meaning like, remember when the TV came on? He said, it happened. And he said, things about the dead that you need to know. We can rewind your life, even if we were not a part of it. We are able to aid and assist you. He said, like, me helping you move the furniture, me telling you certain ingredients to put into the food, me telling you how to put certain things on the candles. He was like, little things like that. We help with that. But we also can see into your life. So he was explaining to me about the dead. Now, when I went to see my grandmother that summer, my grandmother explained those things to me. Out the blue, she started talking like, yeah, the dead can rewind your life. They can see how long you've been here. They know if you had a past life or not. She just coming on out the blue, and I'm just looking at her like, I was wondering why he was always able to get to your house. And I'm just looking at her. And she's explaining it to me. And she's still in there cleaning. She had one of them old school washboards when you washing clothes. She had one of them, and she would do it. And she would start in. I think Ifa Bayo was the only one that I heard that said anything about the washing women. But my grandmother was the first one to ever say that for me. And she would say, yeah, we would all have our washing board because we was the washing women. And I'm just looking at her and listening to her. And so me saying that, this guy had revealed, how long he had been dead and everything. Like, he told me a lot about his family. And he said to me, he said, check this out. He said, I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me good. I said, okay. He said, there's a time in your life where these things will make sense for you. He said, because you almost lost your mind. I said, yeah, because I said the way y'all doing this, I have to kind of discern if you're human or not. And I said, when I was younger, I thought that some of y'all were human. Okay. Am I cut out for the rest of y'all? I got a text saying that my live cut me out. So am I cut out for the rest of y'all? Is it cutting in and out? Yeah, because I'm on my regular Wi-Fi. Please let me know. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you both. Thank you both, family. Thank you. But literally, oh, okay, 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 okay. Thank you both. Thank you both. It just may be conflicting of weather. Plus down here is storming and stuff. But literally, when I tell you that, I told him, I said, bro, I didn't even know. I said for a long time, I thought a lot of y'all was human because they didn't come looking like the dead, especially what Hollywood put on TV, like they gonna come like that and stuff. You know, they didn't come like that. They was dressed like they were normal. And like I told them when I was a kid, I literally thought that was just them until I realized they did. Oh yeah, yeah. We get a lot of storms too here in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, the DMV. Man, I swear, I miss the East Coast. I swear, I miss the East Coast. Yeah, and they don't come like you expect them to come. They come in regular, like they just chilling and they talking. Because I never forget the first time I met my first kid ghost. That was funny. That was funny. That was hilarious. As that little joker said, I ain't getting my way. And that joker started moving stuff around the room. I was like, look, little bad fucker. We either gonna play or we not gonna play. And see, I was a kid myself. And so, how old was I? Shit, I was 6. I was 6 years old when that little joker came. Because we was playing. And this is where I started saying, are they human or are they dead? Because every time I ask somebody, have you seen them? They never seem to see them. My grandmother would be the only one that would see them, which was crazy. Because my grandmother would be the one to tell me, no, that little boy came. She didn't tell me until later that they were spirits. Good evening, good evening. She didn't tell me but till later. Because literally, I was playing, talking to, I thought they was breathing and living. And I didn't know you had to have a balance with that. Or you'll start to lose what is reality, what is physical, and what is spirit, and then what is reality versus what you're seeing. Kind of shit that I can't remember was 14 years old. Wow. But yeah, they was, I mean, like, they was coming and chilling, and like I said about the man, he was coming and chilling, and they would be phone clothes and everything. Like, they was real chill will. We would just talk. It was real chill will. And it wasn't like what I was used to. And this is where everybody thought that I was crazy. This is where everybody thought that I was lying about everything. This is where everybody thought that at. Where they thought I was lying, where they thought I was playing games, where this is where everybody thought that I was making up shit. You know what I mean? Because they wasn't seeing the little kid. Only my grandmother would see him, but I was only going to her house for the summer. And they literally didn't see it. At the time, I didn't know it was necromancy. At the time, because we didn't discuss titles, I had no idea. I just thought that it was rare that people would see the dead. I just thought it was me and my grandmother. I was like, let me not tell nobody this shit because, they already tried to lock my ass up. So I was like, let me not, tell them nothing like this, that I encountered. So I was keeping this stuff to myself. And literally, I'm over there keeping it to myself, because back then, shit, in the 80s, in the 90s, this was not something discussed out loud. This was something the church, the religious community, would say that this was literally demonic. Now, today's date, nobody told Jesus that when he was discussing with Moses and Elijah, and both of these guys was from two dispensation of times, thousands of years apart of dead. They did not preach on that, nor did they speak on that. Good evening. Nor did they speak on that. No one ever discussed it but my grandmother. She would point out certain things in the Bible and say, no, you can speak to the dead. Yeah. And it was very harsh because at that time everybody was referring to, each other as sister, mother, papa, mother, you know what I'm saying? And if they said, I'm going to fix you, they was pretty much saying, I'm going to put a root on you. You know what I'm saying? Good evening to those that are coming in. My internet is slow, so if I don't see it come right up, it's because it's slow. But they would literally say, little stuff like, I got friends on the other side, good evening. But, they didn't say anything like when they spoke of witchcraft, they made it like everything was demonic. No one would tell you that Bible is a portal. Peace, family. No one would tell you that the Bible was a portal. When you read it, that the words, depending on your relationship, the words will come about the page. Or that you will begin to hear the voice of God. And that God will show you things like angels or archangels and stuff like that. No one would actually tell you that back then. It was a rare discussion. Like today we know that, you know what I'm saying, that God, that there's a difference in the Hebrew. Logos is the written, Rhema is the audible word of God. That's literally, you're not hearing the Bible then, but you're hearing God directly. And so a lot of people would not tell you those things. They would say that it was demonic. They would say that you're crazy. You can't talk to your mom, your dad. That's a demon. They would preach this stuff. That everything was a demon. And no one really researched to find out, even for the word prophet, seer, witch doctor, medicine woman, all of that used to derive under the word oracle. But nobody told you that. Because they were saying that they was an oracle way before they were ever saying prophet, which is Nabi in the Hebrew, seer, witch doctor, all of that, psychic, medium. Before all of those words came about, they were saying, go to the oracle. Now, the oracle was somebody who could be inhabited by the spirit. Yeah, can be inhabited by the spirit, or as we say now, being mounted, or back then they would say possessed. But see, Nobody had a problem with the witch of Endor when they would preach that. They would preach that because they didn't have no problem with Samuel being channeled and Samuel mounting and speaking. They didn't have a problem with that then, but they didn't fully go into the depth of it either. Like nowadays, everybody goes into the depth of it. You know what I mean? But back then, it was still witchcraft. And it was like the only thing that they would say was God outdone the witchcraft. That's all they would say. And something not a wish to live, you know. And so there was a lot I didn't talk about. I didn't say anything because when I tried to say something, I was deemed crazy. I was deemed possessed. I remember getting whooped for a dead man moving something in the house. They thought that I did it. I was like trying to figure out how the hell I do that in front of your eyes. Like, what was I, a track star? You know what I'm saying? I was trying to figure it out. Cause I was getting whooped for some strange shit. Like, I'm standing there talking to somebody. I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to be drunk up the gin and juice. Just strange stuff that would happen. And I would literally see them go drink it up. I would literally see them go do the stuff. And I was like, y'all don't see that I'm standing right here? And it ain't me? You know, I remember one time, like I said, with the dead man, he was the one that would repair the curtains after they would remove the little thing that you turn your blinds with. When I was younger, they would turn the curtains, and he would put the stick back, and then like the little string that you pull your blinds up and down with. Yeah, they will remove the blinds, remove that, and this male spirit will put it back. Because at that time, I didn't know how to send him back to the graveyard. The day that he left willingly. Just shit, I didn't know how. My grandmother didn't teach me that. Not until later. She taught me some extreme shit, don't get me wrong. I learned the extreme before I did the simple. The simple stuff was no problem. I learned that. Y'all give me just a second. Got to be more careful. As I think this place, they're getting ready to close the library. Sometimes I just come over here to chill. But literally, nobody explained that to me. I didn't know how to send the dead back at that time. I didn't learn that until later. But I was thankful for the young man that came. He was in his 20s. Looked to be. He was grown. He was telling me how he died. It was a wreck or something with him in a train. I remember him telling me that. And what was so crazy, at that time that he came, he even explained why, what, with demons, a demon, why the demon showed up and said that he wanted to guard me. Because also when I was 5, I had a demon that told me that. His name is Bilal. He's part of the Goetic. But he literally told me that. He said, I'm going to look after you. And I was like, what are you? He told me the truth. He said, I'm a demon. That is what I'm categorized as. I'm going to look after you. And I'm going to be around. He said, I didn't come to harm you. I didn't come to destroy you. If you really want to know the truth, and he literally told me, you one of us. Now, imagine hearing some shit like that, and you are a kid. And what you know of demons at that time, at that age, you know nothing but bad. You know nothing but Motherfucker just said, you a demon. Now imagine hearing that and you're the outcast. You don't fit in, you know. It got to the point to where my family had to ask me not to be professional with them. Because I would speak to them on a professional level, like, how you doing? Uh-huh. And I say, good, and walk off. That's how I was handling them. That I would say, good, and I would literally walk off. And when I would literally walk off, they had to tell me, hey, you being real professional with us. By the age of, like I said, by the age of 12, I was too through with chasing people. I was like, bro, y'all acting brand new. Don't act like y'all wanted me around. That was my mentality. So yeah, how you doing? What's clever, Mr. Travel? I was saying stuff like that. And literally, what was so crazy, I see my great grandmother, like every time we would have a family reunion, I would see the dead there. I would see my great grandmother. I would see like my grandfather, Marshall Sr., my grandfather. That is the only one, good evening, that I have not seen yet. He spoke, but that's the only one that I have not really truly seen. Out of all of them, that's the one I want to hear from. That's the one that I would love to hear from. That's the one that I would love to hear from him. I would love to hear from him. Guy love. I would love to hear from him. But at the age that I was at, yeah, I knew nothing except the stories they was telling me about him. And the last time I seen him was when I went to spend the summer at my grandmother's house, and he picked up the bed. Like I said, I took my stuff. I went to sleep. Good evening to those that came in. I picked up my stuff and I went to bed. And hopefully this will help somebody know that you're not crazy. You're not tripping. But this will be my third live. I did one last year on my experiences. Good evening. To those that are coming in, welcome back if you're coming back. But these are the stories that I left out that they said that I had to go back and tell. So it was like, you left this out, you left that out. No, because when I was little, they used to say that I was crazy. That, you're not seeing that, you just crazy. You ain't got good sense. Like, I've even had friends call me crazy. And then, you ever had somebody that wanted to fight you because you saw it coming to pass and they didn't? Y'all kids, and you tell them that certain things is going to happen. Like one time I told a friend of mine, I said, when you get home, that candy that you ate and all that food that you messed up, I said, you're gonna get your told him, man. See, I was young, back then we cussed when the parents went around. So I was like, you're gonna get your ass whooped. Do you know that little kid wanted to fight me? Thought that I had told it, and I would like just tell them what happened. They won't do it. The kid lied. Instead of telling them what happened, the kid just started lying. And got her ass whooped because didn't know that they had cameras in the house and that they saw the whole thing. But it was crazy. Have you ever run into somebody that got spooked? But like I said, they wanted to fight you. They wanted to fight you because what you said. That you was sitting up saying that they was going to get in trouble and everything. Like, I would warn my friends. Same here. That's where the fear and the hatred begin. Yeah, because they ain't like my ass. And then it didn't help at that time, shit that I was going through with the family, feeling like the oddball, feeling like I wasn't a part, and then being raped didn't help either. So it was a lot of stuff. Ma'am, can I throw this in your bag?
Huh?
Can I throw this in your garbage bag? Okay. And y'all forgive me. I'm trying to throw stuff away while I'm walking out. But literally, I would get in so much shit, and the spirits would say, "Tell them," and I would be like, "They gonna fight me," and literally, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Got fought. Straight got fought. Straight got into a whole fight. One time, talking about, you the snitch. You the one that's telling everybody. I'm like, no, I ain't telling nobody nothing. But for them, I was telling everybody. I was the snitch. I was the one that was literally going around. So they said, snitching. They thought I seen them do it. Even when I got older, I've had people tell me they weren't cool with that. And they didn't want to feel like they talked to God. Okay. We all leaving out of there. I'm going to stand right here for a second. So I can try to let out everything they want me to let out. But literally, I would end up in fights. And have you ever sat down and in your younger years, before you started doing readings and getting paid for it, and literally you see somebody and God tell you to tell them something? Because one time there was a lady at the store. I literally did not know this woman from Adam, didn't know she was going to have surgery, didn't know none of that. I literally tapped the woman, and at this time, I was telling God that I didn't know him. I was like, you want me to say stuff in your name, sir, and I don't know you. Like, what's your name? And he was like, you can call me Jehovah, you can call me Yahweh. And I was like, okay, what does it mean? And he would tell me, self-existent one, God of fire, God consuming fire. And literally when he tell me that, he would tell me, and I would still say, but sir, I don't know you. And so when he told me to tell the lady that, I told the lady, hey, God said everything's going to be all right. And I said it just like that. She broke down. She said, do you know what's going on with me? I said, no, ma'am. I just know that you're not going to die. You're going to come out of it alive, and everything going to be okay. And she broke down. She said, I'm getting ready to have surgery. Getting ready to go through the procedure. I was praying to God because I was scared. And she literally told me, she said, don't ever stop doing what God tell you to do. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. But like, who want to explain who this is talking to me? I literally said that. And she said, what you mean? I said, I don't know. She said that was God. I said, okay. So let me get this right. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. She said, yeah. I said, okay, y'all gonna have to do better. Who is he? That's a book. Who is he? And she said, you're gonna have to just ask him. I said, yep, I'll do that. And sure enough, that was the night that he let me know. Real talk. Uh, I literally waited till everybody in the house went to bed, and I asked him. I said, Mr. Yahweh, I said, that's what you say your name is. Who are you? Because I can't go do nothing in your name because I don't know you. That's like living a lie. I don't know you. He literally told me. He said, okay. He said, what do you want? Y'all, I said to him, I want the wisdom to know you. I want to know what's on your mind towards me. Mind you, that's all I said, y'all. Outside of, I wanted a relationship with him. Why he say, like I'm King Solomon or some damn body? I'm going to give you honor. I'm going to give you riches. Your name going to be great. I said, wait, whoa, hold on, sir. That ain't what I asked you for. What I said was, what was on your mind towards me? I ain't asked you for no money. I ain't asked you for no plethora of stuff. I don't even like people. Good evening. I don't even like people. I said, man, just stick to the topic here. He said, no, because you asked for a relationship, because you asked for this, you asked for wisdom, you asked for all of this, this is what I'm going to do. I said, sir, wait. See, you're doing too much. I literally said that. I said, see, you all the way out your lane. Sir. He said, yeah, you going to go before the multitude. I said, sir, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I said, do you remember when you did me like Isaiah, talking about who would go for me? And I said, I looked at you and said, oh no, get somebody else to do it. He said, yeah. I said, do you know how many people speak indirectly to someone? I said, it's like Isaiah volunteered. Because you speaking indirectly, who will go for me? Who can I send? See, I ain't on Isaiah. I read that, and I've heard it preach, good evening, Iman. I said, I literally heard that these are things that I left out of the last live that the spirits told me that I had to bring up in this one. And so, I'm bringing them up. And literally, I was like, yo, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go. And I said, because you spoke indirectly. I was like, yeah, me too. Yeah. And literally he said, Isaiah didn't volunteer. I said, yes, he did. He said, I go, Lord. Every time you said, who was sin? He said, I go. Then you had that man walking naked for 3.5 years. I said, sir, you ain't gonna do me like that. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I literally said, like I said, these are the things that I left out the last live, and I got on to by the spirits. You left this out, you left that out. I was like, man, listen. They was like, nope, you got to do another live. I was like, okay. So, hopefully this would help somebody not think that they crazy. I said, because I told God the truth. I thought he was a male chauvinist. I thought he was okay with rape. I thought he was okay with a lot of stuff. I really did. I thought he was okay. I thought he was okay with making me lose my mind. I was like, all these dead ass people. I thought he was okay with some stuff. But literally, he was like, no. He said, Isaiah didn't volunteer. If you read the story again, he said, as a matter of fact, and this is when he set me down. He said, as a matter of fact, I want you to read my Bible. I don't want you to teach. I don't want you to preach. Because at that time, I was ordained a minister. At the time that I told him I wasn't going to go in his name. Because, like, he kept saying that. he kept saying, "You gonna be my prophet?" So I was like, "Yeah, I don't know you." And so this is when he sat me down. He said, "I'm going to teach you about me, and I'm going to answer any of your questions, and I'm going to bring some things to pass in front of you." Okay, okay, that'll work. Now, I didn't realize what I was saying. I was turning 18. I didn't realize what I was saying to this huge deity. I didn't realize. I didn't realize what I was embarking upon at the time. So I asked him, I said, "What did you leave who begot who?" He said, "Because those are ancestors. How can I ask you to keep the old landmark if you don't know the stories? In the family, don't every family have a history?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, so you get in the history of your relatives." He said, "That's how you find out where you came from." I said, "That's true. That's true. That's how you find out where you came from." I said, "That's true." I said, "But people don't teach nor preach this." I said, "Some pastors," and I was being petty at the time because I was sick of the pastor that I was listening to, because he would always preach Nehemiah about the damn wall. And so I would get so mad. And I said, "Some people just preach Nehemiah. Some people just preach your crucifixion. Some people just preach the same crap over." He said, "And this is why I chose you. Because you got a different point of view. The way that I'm going to give it to you, somebody else didn't get it that way. But there's a plethora of people who can't wait for you to say it. So I'm going to give it to you this way." I was like, "Okay, you still talk about me going somewhere, sir. All I want to know what's on your mind." I said, I'm going to do what you told me to do. I'm going to study." He said, "Yeah, because you need to study yourself approved unto me, which is unto God, that a workman need not be ashamed, but rightly divided the word of truth." And that's what he told me. He said, "But I chose you." He said, "Where I want you to start," he said, "I want you to do the Old Testament, then the New Testament." I said, "Okay, all right, cool." I said, "Cool, I'll do it." So I'm reading Genesis and everything. I'm asking my questions. Now, y'all got to understand, I ask uncomfortable questions. Because I wanted to know where Cain get a wife from. And he went somewhere else. And literally, where you get a wife from? Where them people come from? So God said, he told me the truth. He said, "Listen, I said that I created these people. I didn't say it with no people here. Just like when I said my beloved son, I didn't say it with no people there. I didn't say that they wouldn't be loved." He said, "That's y'all come up with that." And he said, "Since when did I say that it was an apple that was ate from the tree? I thought I said a fruit." I said, "Hey, sir, I'm only asking because listen, Linda, listen. What's up? What's up, niece?" I said, "Look, I'm only asking because these preachers got you with an apple. These preachers don't know where them people came from. And they swear to God that they was created when everybody else was created. So I'm asking what everybody else seemed to be scared to ask you. Because I ain't scared. I want to know. I was that person. But in the midst of it, I was like, but you got to tell me, why do you keep giving me these encounters? You done walked me through 7 walls of fire. You literally done did this. You literally let 7 of us read the book of Revelations, and each one of us, the first thing we dreamt about was water. Then we was dreaming about boats. Then you had to step out of the boat and everything. So like, What's up? Little did I know that he was saying I was going to do the work that he did. But see, this is the part of what they don't say when they say that you're going to do the work that he did and greater. They don't tell you that Jesus said that you was going to drink of that cup. See, that cup come with that work and which you bear in your cross. See, nobody mentions that. So at that time, nobody mentioned it. Not a soul. They would preach it, but they was shimmy on past that. Like, go ahead and, run past that and keep talking. They would just tell you. They would just tell you that literally you're going to drink of the cup. But nobody would say what the cup was. Little did I know you was going to go through what you needed to go through to make you strong. You was going to go through it. What you needed to make you stronger. You was going to get rejected. You was going to get lied on. You was going to feel uncomfortable. See, at that time, I was asking $1 million questions. But it was a few of those questions he didn't answer. And some of them I got doing Misha Nino's reading. And then after the reading, after the reading, stuff started to kind of turn around and start revealing. Yeah. Tough times don't last. Strong people do. True. But see, at that time, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just trying to get him to say who he was and give me his name. Now, in the midst of that, there was quite a few things that I learned, like certain prayers, like how to put this here, like that there. There was some of the things that was preached. And I'm not going to lie. You'll get mad when you figured out that you've been lied to on some things. You're going to get mad. I'm not going to lie. I was pissed because there are things that in religiosity no one tells you. You have to watch for the control. You have to watch for the control. And you have to watch of the denial. And I'm saying this because this is what people used to say. I didn't just start hearing that this year. But even when I was in church, people would tell me, oh, you only gifted because you're around so-and-so. You only gifted because you're around this person, that person. Like Prophet Simmons, which was my spiritual father. They would say at the time I was only gifted around these people. So I was like, hold up. So you mean to tell me God goofy like that? He gonna wait till we all around each other to be able to read, to be able to see, to be able to hear? Excuse me, this is not the children of Israel. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. You know what I mean? I was like, what was you at when I was seeing them angels and they was buying candy and stuff? And then they would disappear and me and the person at the counter be looking for the motherfucker and be looking crazy. And they were weak. Right. But see, at that time, I'm not going to lie, I was going through my insecurities as well. So when they were saying that stuff, I would react. I would get mad. I would have two fits, and pardon the way I say this, but two fits in the shit. Because I would be ticked. Because at that time, I had to learn to manage my anger. I had to learn to heal. I had to learn how to release, let go. None of that at that time. Yeah, haters. Yep. Had to learn it. Good evening, Miss Sue. I love you. What's up, fam? Welcome. But literally, I hadn't learned how to see that as a distraction yet. I hadn't learned that it is what it is. I was still carrying childhood issues from being rejected. I was still, at that time, carrying what happened to me of being raped. I was still carrying that. I was still carrying people putting guns in my face, being fought, being told that I was crazy. See, grand abundance, sup, sis, literally, I was literally not in a place to where when they did that I wouldn't react. But let me be honest, I had to learn. And I'm going to tell you, which every lesson from God you have to learn. Because let me say this. In order to carry your gift, you have to go through haters. You have to go through lessons where you get rejected. Your storms in your life are literally your sparring partners. It's like being a fighter. You're in training. How else can you go and win a war with the Spirit of God, with your ancestors, with your spiritual team, if you don't go through some things? Like if you don't go through the lessons, if you don't go through what the Bible say, trials and tribulations, if you don't go through the storm, how can you spar? Because it's not set to break you. It's not set to break you, but it's set to make you stronger. Just like my sister was saying, making strong people. It was set to make you, not break you. Good evening. And what's up, nephew? Literally, my God, get you calm down. Gotta get you calm down. Gotta get you calm down on the bed. Please. But literally, you literally can see. At that time, like I said, I wasn't healed. No. I was ready to fight everybody. I was ready to kill everybody. I was ready to do something to them. Until the day it was said to me, do you know what healing is? Now, at the time, y'all, I had my picks and chooses on what I wanted to heal from. Yeah. But it made me smile, but I had to get it to calm down. I had to get it to calm down. Good evening. But literally, I had to learn. Which is the same thing that we have to do. All that we went through, all of that was to just make you stronger and help you gain wisdom and knowledge and understanding by experience. Because it's one thing to tell somebody something, but it's another thing to experience it and be able to speak life into that person. So you have to been through something. It's just like, I can't tell a mechanic how to fix a car if I never fix one. What am I tell them? I can't tell them put this spark plug here. Never had to fix one. Now, if you like me, you done misread it a few times in a car. You learn how to do some stuff, fix a flat or two. You know what I'm saying? But when that mechanic say they can't figure it out, you can help them with that. But when somebody said to me, do you know what healing is? I said, oh, you talking about like when I go to the hospital? I'm not going to lie. Y'all, I was a smart ass and everything. I was like, oh, when you go to the hospital, they give you the medicine. Or either when you go to the church and the pastor calls up giving you a prescription. They was like, bruh, healing. Healing for your spirit. Healing for your mind. And I said, what do you mean healing for my spirit? They said, not necessarily healing for your spirit. Because your spirit is intact. Your soul can get through this with a breeze. But it's your soul that's helping you understand the purpose. Your spirit already got it. But it's you that have to align. Have you let go of the anger yet? Have you let go of the hatred? Now, over the years, y'all, I've healed. I've grew a hell of a lot at that time, because when I was 21, I grew some. Go off to the Marine Corps. You'll understand what I mean. But I grew some. You know, I'm not going to say that I fully grew because I was still looking at people like, ooh, you expendable. Disrespect me and I'm going to take you out of here. That was me. But I had to learn how to heal because a lot of that stemmed from what people had done to me. You know how we would say that y'all made me the monster that I am. That's what they, at that time, that was my thing. That was my anthem. They made me the monster that I am. And that was not God's plan. That was not the ancestors' plan. That was not the spiritual team plan. That was not the Loa's plan. Even at that time when I didn't really know the Loa. I'm so thankful that what walks with you don't pay attention to what you don't know and what you do know when it's time to guide you and it's time to help you. So thankful. So thankful for the grace of God. So thankful for the mercy of God. Because imagine if he got impatient like us. Imagine if he got our temper. Some of us wouldn't be here today. I know I wouldn't because I used to test the gangster, okay? So I was one of those people that thought I could talk to God any kind of way and thought it was all right. And it wasn't all right. Because when you are learning from him, no matter how much you want to give up, no matter how much you want to stray away from the path, and believe me, I'm not going to tell you that I walked this the straight and narrow. No, the hell I didn't. Just going to be real. No, I didn't. There were things that I wanted to do. For one, I was a successful hoe and still an angry one at the time. That's how I encountered, I'm not going to say darkness, how I encountered evil. Because what people don't know, when you let negativity in and you keep letting it in, eventually it'll consume you. And you'll declare darkness. But you'll declare it wrong because, see, there's a part where God dwells in thick darkness. Because he has to be there in the darkness of times in your life. That's how come his strength in your time of weakness is made perfect. Because, yes, in the light you are revealed. But in the darkness, the true darkness, is where you find your giftings, where you plant your seeds, where you grow. Because those are the lessons of your path. Those are the lessons of life. Those are the lessons of things that you got to learn. But if you let too much negativity in, it will consume you. This is part of the reason why we should really, truly thank our ancestors, thank God, and thank whatever walks with us as in spirits. And the reason why I say that is because of what they didn't allow to consume you with you being chosen. Because even though in our heads, you almost lost your line, you almost lost your mind, people thought you was lying every 5 minutes, you died, and for those who didn't die, you had car wrecks, and you come out in one piece. I've had that happen to me, Jesus. I've had that happen to me. But literally, things that should have took us out didn't. What was supposed to consume you didn't consume you. See, that was that no weapon formed. Just because it formed don't mean God stood back and was going to let it happen. But it was a lesson. That's how come you have to deal with your anger. That's how come you have to heal. That's how come you have to let go and let God. That's how come you have to say, I'm not going to hold on to this. The art of forgiveness is not for other people, it's for you. Now, I know usually don't nobody say that, because everybody has this narrative. With they steal your family, they steal this, they steal that, that steal your uncle, that steal your cousin, that steal your friend. That person been there for you. No. That don't mean that I have to sit down and eat again, but I can forgive you. I'm not holding you to that. I can forgive you. I can let it go. Not so much just for your benefit, but for mine to drop the weight of the anger, of the hurt, of the staying up at night. It's like carrying unnecessary baggage that is holding us down. Because if nothing else, my encounters, good and negative, was something else. And literally, my encounters, I've had some negative ones, because let me be honest. And when I say some negative ones, not all of them was negative. But what I mean by some negative ones was when I got levitated off the bed. Yeah, constant with wanting to be destroyed. You know what? Ima, I'm gonna say this. A lot of times when people playing with fire like that, they think they invoking you and they invoking the God in you to literally be destroyed. People have no idea the fire they playing with. Especially when you think especially when you think you're victorious. See, God have a certain time in the season, there's a manifold purpose there too. Because that person don't know later on they'll have karma. And I'm going to tell you, karma, male or female, that's a pretty motherfucker. That's a pretty motherfucker. Because when they invoke the God in you, remember, he'll consuming fire. How long you think you're going to last while you playing with fire? Because me, I'm not the problem. It's what's in me and what's walking around me that's the problem. And I'm going to tell you something. When he said, pray for those that despitefully misuse you, do you think it's a A, or do you think it's a E? And I'm going to leave that where it's at. Also, a lot of them, let me say this. A lot of them think they doing good. Go ahead. Slap somebody. Think they just giving you the other cheek. You turn your ass over to darkness and get devoured. And I was saying like I normally would say it. See, that to me, that's goofy as hell. You keep on and you keep on and you keep on. And this person is helping people. This person is making a difference, and God is getting the glory. The ancestors is walking, and you got the Lord making things happen. Listen, Linda. When I look up and your ass is deceased, I'm going to come speak of you. Because I'm petty. I'm going to come speak of you. Listen, I got my ministerial license, and we'll help the preacher preach and tell the family why I'm there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because they don't see. A lot of these people would swear to God that God said this, and they think they're doing God's service by coming at you and trying to say you fake, you this, you that, and you all this and you all that. And some of these crazy ass people would think they on your level with their lying ass. They'll sound like you. They'll try to act like you. They'll try to be like you. They'll try to talk like you. And don't even realize. Don't even realize that don't even have the experience. Because for myself personally, just speaking from experience, but myself personally, you want to be like Mike, take some of these pains that I go through out the habit of dream. Take some of them experiences when you got to lay there. You can't just get your ass up. You got to lay there for a minute and then get up. Because your spirit will hop out your body. Because you astral more than you stay. Some will fly over, some will get it. This is why I love Ezekiel. Or you wake up and you at a shortness of breath. Not because you're not feeling well. Because of what the hell you saw that took your fucking breath. And let me see them fight what you're fighting. What are they going to do when that particular spirit that's coming against you come to fight them? Let me see you have 9 heart attacks and still walking around saying, but God. Let me see you do it. Let me see you die 3 times and still walk around and say, but God. Let me see you be a contradictory to a doctor's textbook. Let me see you do it. Because don't just want the gift, boo. Want the work. And let me see you survive. Because in order to help people, you're going to go through hell. Jesus ain't the only one that went to hell. You're going to go to that grave too. And you're going to have to come out. And you're going to have to rise again. And you're going to have to stand there strong. Let me see you do it. Let me see you keep your mind intact. Let me see you balance the scales of light and darkness and know the difference. Let me see you ask them uncomfortable questions. Because there are some questions that I ask God that I'm quite sure some people would be afraid to ask. I asked him, why did I have to be raped? You know what he told me? You can't help nobody if you've never been through it. You are the pioneer that has to come out. Let me see you be the pioneer near to a path that your ancestors show you walking on air. You don't even have a ground to walk on. Let me see you do it. I'll wait. I remember one time, I never forget this, young lady. I don't think I actually told this on Facebook. I think Iman's probably heard this. But I don't think I ever told this on Facebook. I remember back here, I had preached my last sermon. I was no longer a part of the church, okay? Because I had cussed them out individually and collectively. I was through with it, okay? And literally, it was a young lady. She had told so many lies because she was trying to do the job of a house prophet. She wanted to be the pastor and his wife counselor. Now, mind you, they were wearing the titles of prophet and prophetess. So she wanted to do this. One day, right before their pastor anniversary, they had a whole argument. I'm talking about throwing stuff, knock down, drag out. I'm divorcing you. Fuck you. The young lady didn't know what to say to them. She had to call me. And I gave this woman 1 week. I shook this woman by the right hand. I said, everything that I go through, I said, because you can't just get the blessing. You gonna get this work. And you better last. The ultimate thing that did it for her, because she was already crying, the ultimate thing that did it for her was when nothing she said, because she thought since she was married, she should be the one doing it. Nothing she said was working. And she had to call Prophet at the house. She had to call me. And she said, yo, I apologize. I tried to be you. I tried to do what you do. I even went as far as lying on you. I was like, you better hear from the Lord. Listen, I'm a lot similar to Elijah. I will mark you, okay? I told her, hey, you better get on your knees. You better get that word. You better get them folk back together for that pastor anniversary. I'm not coming to church. I got a cigar lit. And I got a bottle of liquor in my hand. You better fix it. She be like, she called me back, I tried, they still arguing. I said, boy, you about as weak as a penny with a hole in it. I said, you know what? I'm on my way. I said, but you do me a favor. Stay the entire fuck out of my position. Because you don't know why the weight of this anointing is on my life. You don't know why God asked me. Because I'm going to tell you something I really didn't want to. I really don't like people. I literally told her that. Came to the church, and I'm going to be honest, y'all. I came with my cigar and my bottle of liquor in my hand. They was still in there arguing. They was talking about, fuck you, I'm not doing nothing. You had a motherfucking kid on me. Da-da-da-da. It was going off. My cigar lit. Both of them stopped. They smelled the cigar. They turned around. Who got? Hey, Prophet. They sound like little badass kids, too. It was like, hey, Prophet. I'm like, whatever. What's y'all doing? We up here mad at one another. I want a divorce. And y'all got an anniversary tonight. Talking about a damn divorce. I said, do me a favor. Both of y'all have a seat. And I said, now, let me be real with you. You married a man, knew that he was a hoe. But you got so emotionally attached, you did this. Do you still love this man? She said, yes. I said, this is the reason why I ain't like you, because you brought your ass down here blind because you let this man lie to you. And I said, you, being a hoe, you a pastor and a prophet. Is this what you giving the people? Is this what you doing? Yeah, I tried. I'm not going to lie to you. That woman was so snotty, I just wanted her to go somewhere and set her ass down. I'm not going to lie to you. And I told her, I said, but you literally being a hoe on a good woman that really loves you, that's really trying to be by your side. I said, she goofy because she blind as fuck, claiming to be a prophetess and can't see shit. How you don't see this? And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This is how I said it. How you gonna be blind as fuck and you don't see that your dick is attached to another and he got 2 kids, not 1, 2, and 1 more on the way? Player, how blind you gonna be, or how long you gonna miss God? I asked. How blind you gonna be, player? Cause you up here being a good size hoe. Welcome. Good evening. So you up here being a good size hoe. Yeah, and she was up. Yeah, blind as fuck. Yeah. At the time, blind as fuck. Now, again, I'm not going to deny nobody their call because she did it. She said she told me some things that I know she had to get that from God. But she was blind as fuck. What's up, bro? She's blind as fuck. And so the girl said, hey, after they got their little self straight, got it together, they passed the anniversary. The girl told me, she said, how the hell you can say that and they okay with it? I said, but that's the thing. They know me. You the one that don't know me. Yeah. Exactly. And I told her, I said, do you know what it takes to be a prophet? I did ask her, the young lady, that, and she said no. I said, we don't get this little hell Like, you can't pay your light bill. No, all hell break loose. Everything goes the fuck wrong. Everything goes wrong. I said, bruh, it's not like you over there dealing with just a light bill, a water bill. No, you getting evicted. No, Judas done showed up. Peter the nine-ass done showed up. Disciples over there scared, sitting in the motherfucking cave. The very people that's supposed to have your back in the cave. They ducking and hiding. You done been there for everybody, pulled into everybody, but can't nobody pull into you. Can't nobody help you. But you done been that G. You obey. But like Jesus, you sit up there saying, like, bro, you can suffer with me for 1 hour. You can listen. You can stay up. All hell break loose. And what's bad about it, this is what God would tell you. This is what God would tell you. Hey, yo, you strong enough. It's going to work for your good. What? Sir. This fool is evicted me every week. Sir, I done paid rent. So what do you mean? The rent's paid. What, sir? Sir. And that was really how I would talk to him. But especially after almost having a gun pulled on you. You talk to the Lord right then. You don't cuss. You don't yell. You sir. I was sir. And literally, he said, no, I have a track record with you. Why are you still breathing? Same God. Same ancestors. You looking at all hell, and they say, I have a track record with you. If I brought you from that, then know that I can do more. So when I was telling the young lady said, damn, I can't take none of that. I said, but this here the kicker. The money you need. I'm going to ask y'all, have you ever had to bless somebody and give them something and they literally dogging you out in your face right then? I've had to give a pastor $200. I've had to give a group of these motherfuckers who's operating under the spirit of jealousy and treat them out to eat. And then sit there and watch them call me the devil and say that I was Lucifer in the flesh. And literally tell me how much God was with me. Yeah, you said behind your back, yeah? See, no, they did it in my face. In my face. I had to pay for the meal. I had to give a man $200 that had a church full of people in a guest church that called me Lucifer. It said, look at God. It made the devil bless you. I said, no, you didn't. Then I had where the pastor said I would never be nothing. Said that no matter what, rebuking me every Sunday. But then he gets up one day, that wild have his ass out, he's going to be real bold. Oh, you'll never be nothing. You ain't going nowhere. God ain't going to use you. You ain't shit. Now, I don't think I told this part of the story where the young man, all right, I'm happy I didn't know you back then, because that would be a whole problem for me. Listen. It got worse. God would tell me to tell somebody something, and another person will come repeat what I said, and they will receive it. Like I said, I didn't just get the positive, I got the negative too. I remember one time I seen a demon walking. That joker did not have a body. He was not in somebody's body. He walked by and said, hey. I was like, hey, wait a minute, G. Is this nigga outside of a body? And you could see the silhouette. And he was straight just walking. You could actually see the shadow on the sidewalk. Yeah. I was like, bro, walking. And this was right after getting rebuked on Sunday. You know what? And I'm going to be honest. They would have did it more and harder. I'm just going to be real. They would have did it more and harder. But the stronger my encounters got, the stronger my opposition got. Until the day I understood greater is he in me than he that is in the world. Because, show you how it worked for my good. I'm misscribing. I miss automatic writing. I might have to get back to that. Because literally, God had me write a front and back 12-page letter, which I feel like it was 24 front and back. And her name was Prophetess Georgia Townsend. I would never forget it. I gave the letter to her at the beginning of this revival. Everything that was on those pages, she preached. She literally prophesied to everybody that name was on there. God had literally wrote all of it down. I understand. Because a job like that pulls some real live emotions. I used to be a caseworker, working for DHS and working for Medicare. I completely understand. I would have put all their business out right in the church. They would have gotten prophesied for real. But I believe it. And listen, Ima, I was close. Even after the revival, when she literally told them that everything that was on the pages front and back was everything that God said to me. That the prophecy, everything God said. Because she would go back and review the tapes because she would record. And she cried literally that Friday. Now the pastor, the same one, open rebuking me every Sunday. He tried to come and apologize. Now y'all, like I said, I wouldn't yield. So when he came, I went off. I should have. I said, no, apologize where you had me fucked up at. Go back in front of all them fucking people and then you apologize. The fuck you apologizing to me in private for? You didn't do it in private. Do what the Bible tell you to do. Where you did it at is where you need to ask for forgiveness at. So he went through a thing, okay? He tried. But the problem, the only reason why he was apologizing, because he told me later, the only reason why he was apologizing, because he got told by God. Not because he was sincere about it. But she still believed what he believed. Now, and I told him, I said, when I get ready to leave, because I'm not going to be here long, because one of the things that Prophetess Georgia Townsend did, she said, you finna go. And she said, I'm going to tell you a latter part. You're not going to always be in church. She said, you're going to go to higher rims, but you're not going to always be in church. She said, I don't know what's going to do it for you, but you about to do it. She said, I don't know what's going to do it for you, but you about to do it. I said, okay. And she said, and then you would later walk in your call. She said, but God got to do some work in you because, she said, you got to heal. I was like, you ain't lying. And let me tell you, because I was petty, I'm not going to lie. I said, yeah, because bald-headed, choco-looking ass, Ricky Martin tap-dancing ass people would say shit to you, and they trying to cheat on their wife. Listen, I was terrible by the end of that, okay? Because I was already hurt. It was explained to him later that I was going through it at home. It was explained to him later that there was a whole gang watching me that was saying, you don't have to take that. He had no idea the shit that I was going through trying to go to his church. He had no idea. And then it was a kid outside that was a part of, let's just say, a part of the blueness of the six that was standing outside with a brown paper bag every Sunday with a gun, a bag of weed, and a bottle of liquor, and a pack of Newports. Every Sunday. My God was standing there faithfully. Now, y'all, one day I grabbed a gun. Pastor didn't even know he almost got killed. Because I was no stranger to doing shit. I was no stranger. He almost got killed. You know what saved him? It was not just the voice of God, but God sent the vessel. And it's funny when he sent your hater to tell you, I know you're a prophet. I know that you called him God. Don't shoot him. I know this. God said don't. Tears was coming down my eyes. Because remember, I had to deal with my anger issues. I would have saw that shit for what it was. I would have been left. But because I didn't see it for what it was, that's how come I didn't leave. Because I was so used to taking abuse and so used to people treat me like that at the time, I didn't know when to leave. But I knew when to shoot. It's like having Stockholm syndrome. You have to fall out of love with the abuse. Because literally, I was like, they gonna keep on until I kill him. I kept saying that every Sunday. The young man said, you had the bag. He noticed one day I grabbed a Newports, one day I grabbed a weed, and one day I grabbed a liquor. But he looked when I grabbed the gun. Because he knew then by that time I had had enough. But at that time, no healing. Oh, I would know that you don't deserve that, just leave. And it was funny because I could hear my grandmother's voice at that time saying, you don't have a jailhouse ministry. I was like, bro, this is going to let me pop them. Now, at that time, if I'm not mistaken, she was still living at that time. And imagine this, right after you go through all of that, you're sitting down, you're visiting with your grandmother, all the family sitting around because that's the only reason why you came around. And God tells you, hey, she only has 6 more months and I'm going to take her. What? I waited till my grandmother got up and walked out of the room. I looked at my mother and I said, listen, God said she only got 6 more months. My mother looked at me and said, no, you hearing wrong. You crazy. I keep telling you, you crazy. I said, I know what I heard. That 6 months came, y'all. We had our last discussion. When we had our last discussion, she told me some things. She said, remember how I would tell you, I want y'all to be ready because I'm going to be gone. Y'all going to have to stand on your own 2 feet. You're going to have to do this. She told me, you have to pick up where I left off. remember, I told you, somebody with a pure heart is coming. She said, you got to pick up where I left off. She said, and you won't have to heal. And she said, put down your gun. She said, I always thought you was going to be a gun toter. Now, I didn't know how to feel when my grandmother said that. I was just, you know how them little puppies, the dogs be looking, they go, I didn't know how to take that. But she told me, you're going to have to heal. You have to put down the gun. You're going to have to really lean on God. And she said, you're a pioneer. Now, what tripped me out right after the conversation, there was a person that called me, and I can't remember who called me. But it's like God took over the phone conversation because they started saying, I just want you to prosper. I just want you to succeed. You got to do the will of God. You got to go. And the person didn't even realize they said it. I had no clue. They didn't even realize what they said to me. I was like, but you just said. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I let it go because I was like, damn, okay. That had to be God because you don't even remember saying it, doing it, or nothing. And literally, everything began to take a change. After my grandmother died, I remember helping the preacher eulogy. By this time, I had moved. I was already gone. At that time, Prophet Simmons, Prophet Charles, Prophet Clay, everybody had come to church. And they was sitting there in support. And literally, I would never forget that because right after that, I came back and it was a lady because Charles Simmons did not believe in it until the lady began to describe her daughter. I had told him about a dream I had. We were still in Bible at this time, though. He hadn't even had his own church yet. And literally, I was telling the dream, I described the woman, I even called the woman's name because she gave me her name in the dream. And I was like, oh, Prophet, what does this mean? Because he had called me that morning because we had just got through coming from England, Arkansas, at that. And he was like, bruh, good evening, what's up, family? But literally, he was like, do you realize what you said? I said, what? When I said that a mystery is something that is here, it's just hidden because you don't have the instructions. He said, yeah. I said, but it's the truth. Everything is a mystery until you understand how to use it. And he was like, okay. He said, so you do realize what you said when you said it. I said, I realized what I said when I said it. And so then he says to me, he said, listen. He used my words. He said, what's got you looking? I said, hold up. I need you to interpret this dream. So I tell him the dream. I describe the woman. And I told him the other lady has a black dog, but I believe that lady is living. And I think that's her sister. He tells me about a lady that was living in Gosnell at the time, which is like up the street. But it's like a couple of miles up the street. But I was so small, you walk out, you out of there. Literally. He tells the lady's crying on the phone, you got to come out to my house, I was like, why I got to come out to your house, man? He was like, no. That's my sister. I was like, oh shit, so maybe you can interpret this. So I go out there. And she said, do you see the dead often? I said, do I? Now, in all of this, y'all, of me having to learn, I forgot to mention I had an ego. I forgot to mention that, and it was a false ego at that, but I forgot to mention that my head was full. So a lot of what I went through was for God molding and shaping me and bringing me down, even though it hurt like hell. Even though it hurt like hell, he was bringing me out of my false ego. Because the reason why I say it was a false ego, because I had low self-esteem. I wasn't very confident. Um, nah, I had no stamina. I was still angry. But when I went out to this lady house, that was the day that I became humble, because she was saying this is her sister. So I tells her the dream, tells her what she's doing. And Prophet Charles Simmons said, listen, in order not to be conflict, this is new to me. I haven't seen this stuff since I was a child. I'm going to step out. I'm not going to hinder nothing. I'm going to step outside. And I'm going to come back and pick the prophet up later. I thought, okay, all right then, cool. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But literally, okay, tell the woman the dream. Here come this little black dog out of her bedroom, runs up to me. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I told her what the dog name was. She looked at me like, what the fuck? I said, well, this is what your sister said to me. I said, your sister had a message for you, so I give her the message. I can't even remember fully the dream and remember what the message was, but I gave her the message. The woman started crying. She was trying to pay me and everything. And because I was religious and I listened to all the Gaga, I forgot about the cost of being to give unto your bosom. I forgot that you're serving worthy of the higher. I forgot if you give up your spiritual, that they'll give you up their physical. See, I forgot all about that. I was like, no. Just, I freely got to give, free to receive. God laid the chastisement. And then I struggled with that at that time still. Some days I still struggle. But literally, when I tell you that I was in shock. Now here was the catch. Charles did not come back and get me. Prophet Simmons did not come back and get me. Okay? I had to walk my ass home. And when I got almost to the house, I was looking all over for you. I looked at him like, nigga, please. My ass was tired. So, I go in the house. A couple of days later, he's calling me a witch. He literally calls me a witch. He literally says, you a witch. He's giving us all these prophecies. He's like, but I'm going to tell you what God said. God said that you are one of his. You're going to hang upside down. And you're going to chase witchcraft. And I looked at him. I said, do you know what witchcraft is? He said, no. I said, well, let me help you. Witchcraft is not what you think. I said, because you use candles, you use herbs every day. So that's not witchcraft. Daniel used herbs. I said, let me tell you what real witchcraft is. When you are lied to about who you are, and about what's on the inside of you, and about who you are serving, that's witchcraft. O foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you? And he was like, what? I said, yeah, you use candles when your lights go out. How you get around the house? He said, I light a candle. Okay, so here we go again. Hold on, let me let them pass. Since they're going to be loud as hell. Oh, y'all calming down? All right. Thank you, Lord. In my Drake that eat food, in my Drake voice, he be eating food. Thank you, Lord. But literally, I was like, that's witchcraft. When someone lies to you and tries to lead you away from God, try to lead you away from your path, and try to run your gifts and run you. That's real witchcraft. He said, what? I said, yeah, it's not the candle. Because when the lights go out, you use them. When you go buy them incense, you didn't think about that little Indian on there with some money incense. You didn't think of none of that shit. You was just lighting that motherfucker. Not witchcraft. You use cinnamon. Cinnamon has an aroma to it, a smell. He said, yeah. I said, witchcraft. That's what you say it is? Do you say that when your grandma put sage in her food? And you eat it because it's chicken and dressing? Or as some people say, because it's stuffing? Yeah. You'll have that. I've had that too. I've had godparents that tried to do that shit too. Tried to break my connection with the spirits, tried to break my connection with God. I've had that too. One night I overheard them praying for God to take away my gifts. Because they said that I was unfit to have my gifts. Oh, Lord. Ooh, Jesus. When you purchase those candles, with all due respect, you got to follow instructions. With all due respect. Yeah, I've walked in on prayers. I've listened. I've had 1,000 preachers to actually get together to talk about me instead of talking about Jesus. They was talking about how to control me, how to stop me. I only came in town to visit at that time. Yeah, those candles for me. Yeah. But the responsibility falls on the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost. Because that's where the Spirit of truth comes from. It comes from God. The Bible tells you the truth will make you free. The truth will set you free. That's where it comes from. But yeah, they're $57. Just hit me up. Give me $1,000,000. I will definitely send them to you. There are people that can attest that they work. But I'm going to tell you. And Ima, thank you. I'm humbled. I'm honored. But I've literally walked in on people praying that I don't see, that I don't hear, that I just be a regular person. On one hand, I was intrigued. I'm not going to lie. I was intrigued. Because I was wondering what was normal anyway. I was intrigued. But on the other hand, I was like, no, you did. Y'all, the prayer never worked. Y'all didn't take no damn gift. Matter of fact, I started to see more. I wanted them motherfuckers to stop praying. That's the more they prayed, the more he showed me. I was like, sir, are you in a competition with these prayers? I started asking, are you in a competition with these prayers? Because listen, it's only so much I can take. I still got to work, sir. I still got stuff to do. Yeah, you know what? And that comes from people not wanting the truth. Yeah, that comes from people not wanting the truth. That's why they don't like a lot of us. Because we'll speak the truth. We'll tell you. Unadulterated with no chaser. We'll tell you. But it's from a place of love. But we'll tell you. We'll tell you. But they didn't. They don't want that. I've had practitioners try to do work to destroy me, and some of these mofos don't even know me. Never shook hands, never met me in person, didn't even talk to me over the phone. Right. And God literally said that, man, don't even worry about that. Literally. Like, that shit ain't working. I remember one time God spoke to me and said, if you knew whatever door I open, nobody can close. He said, who gonna outdo my power? I am the supreme. I was like, that song. Got Cash App? I was literally like that. Because for real, people do not like people that would tell the truth. Especially when you're chosen and you're just not out here doing whatever. God won't let nothing. Like I said in the beginning, the weapon of form, the shit won't prosper. You'll see it because God will let you see it. He'll show you what's in somebody's heart. He'll show you the intent. One of the things that I remember when he told me to read Ezekiel. Ezekiel saw not only the chambers of the heart, but what was the center of your heart. You ever want to sharpen your gifts? Read Ezekiel. You'll see some shit. You'll do a lot of astroing, but you'll see some shit. You'll feel as if you fell dead, then you still standing. You'll see some shit. Because I know how Ezekiel feels because I've had visions within visions, dreams within dreams, where I come out of one and go right into the other, and I can see the other dream behind me still going while I'm in another dream. You see some shit. This is why, and I'm gonna say this just as nice. You gotta be careful who you entertaining, because some of these people you don't know their intent. Yeah, they miserable. Yeah, they miserable. You know why? Because they ain't getting no rest. They have to create mischief. Some people don't even know that thing that they operate in, if it's not put to sleep, it will begin to destroy. Yeah. And you know what? In astro, that does happen. You be tired. You think you done went somewhere in a dream, and you really showed up there. It don't have that where your body feels the effects, where you move in the motion of a train, of a car, or you can feel, where the body cracked at, like where the bone snapped at and shit, because it happened to you, but you just didn't get the effect. You'll see that stuff. You'll wake up tired as hell, especially when you jump out of your body, especially if you don't have no control over it. Yeah, you'll jump out of your body. Yeah. You'll jump straight out your body. And when you get up, it's like you never went to sleep. You just tired. You're drained. It was Iman that told me you have to let them know that you're human. You have to let them know that you have to have rest. And don't get a dead man that won't preach at 4 in the morning. Was it something else I left out? Because let me ask this question. Have you ever sat in a place and it wasn't just deja vu, but literally you had a clue of what was going to unfold before it unfolded, but it isn't deja vu. It's like You saw it happening before it happened, like it was an open vision or something. But you're sitting there and you watched it unfold, and then immediately it unfolded in front of you. I've had those where I see that. Yeah, you wake up tired in Astro. Yeah, Iman told me that you have to tell them that you're human, that you have to get rest, that they gotta let you sleep, or else you ain't gonna be no good, and you won't be able to function. Because at the point that I was at, I wasn't functioning. I would be at work and I would see somebody when I was working at MCNA. I would literally see the young lady before it happened. She was sitting there, and I would literally see her having 2 fits of the shit before she did it. And I tapped her and said, "Hey, go home. You knew what you was worried about your kid. Fuck you come to work for? Go home." And what was so bad? She was a Virgo. I was like, the Virgo, go home. You in September. The fuck you come here for? You already knew. And she would go home. Wow. But literally, Iman told me that let them know that you're human. You don't want your gift taken away, but let them know that you're human. You gotta sleep. Because I was constantly tired. It was to the point that where the encounters just was like bow, 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 bow. One wow. Even last year, it was back to back. I was like, damn it, man. And I would be too tired. It was like one thing to the next. Didn't matter what the fuck I was going through, one thing to the next. And I would be tired all the time. I would be tired, couldn't even function. And I'm going to say this last thing. And I pray that nobody ever gets to this point that I got to. Was it last year or the year before last? I got an invitation from death. And the invitation was that I could leave. Every once in a while, I get those, oh wow, I get those invitations of, you ready to go yet? 1 year, wish Gigi was on here, because at that time I hadn't really talked to y'all or responded just yet. Really didn't know y'all at the first time that I got it. And I literally heard him say, "Hey, you ready to go? Are you still trying to stay? You already fulfilled one. What else you trying to fulfill? Let us know if you're ready or not." And I was like, "Is my work done?" I was like, "No." I was like, let me think about that. I literally said that. Let me think about that before I give such a strong answer. And it was like, okay. He left. Now, he gave me a couple of days. But see, at the time, that was the invitation. Didn't know that Gigi, at the time, was praying that I didn't leave at the time. And literally, when me and her discussed it, I had told her. I said, yeah, I was going to leave until God kept showing me my work wasn't done. I was like, no, because I ain't coming back. Like, this is my last one, Doc. Nah, I'm going to go back and be a spirit God. I ain't doing this shit no more. I literally said that. So I was like, when death came back, I was like, no, respectably, I'm not going. He said, all right, okay. He smiled, good choice, and he left. I was good choice. Motherfucker, what did you ask? Nigga, I was hot. The second time that it happened, I was going to take some people out of here. I had to summon the right one, the right demon that was willing to take me out. So I was going to take some people out, and then I was going to be out. I was like, I got the invitation again. Y'all, I literally seen that demon disintegrate. And God said, I said no. I like, bruh, do you see this gentleman? Do you see? No. You gonna be here. He said, because you got to get your prosperity too. I don't know if anybody's ever had that happen to them or not, but I have. And literally couldn't go nowhere. The third time that it was brought up, I think this time I had already said no, but the stuff that I was doing was very unhealthy. And Iman called me. I don't know if she knew or not, but she was like, you're not going nowhere. You're going to stay right here on the earth, and you're going to do your work. You're going to live longevity. I was like, why do everybody keep saying that? Like, bro, I'm trying to check out. I'm not trying to be here long. I'm not going to be 80 in the nursing home talking about, bring me my shit. I'm not going to be here. I said, bro, I'm not going to be here. Not that long. And little did I know, right after she said that, God showed up and said, no, you got longevity. I told you when you were younger, you was going to live a long time. I said, sir, we not doing the nursing home thing. And he was like, well, you got to do what I say and take care of yourself. I said, we not doing the nursing home thing. No, I'm not going to be that old bitty sitting there talking about, bring me my damn tray. I'm not going to be the one. I'm not. I said, you be done got a CNA beat up and everything. She be done got cane snatched like my grandma used to do, snatch it with the cane. And little did I know. I don't know who, somebody may watch the live that got that invitation. I remember hearing Twin mention it once that she got that invitation. But it's a trip. Sometimes you never know the work that God is doing in a person. And you never know what that person that appear to be strong is going through. Because to tell you the truth, every strong person can be honest and say, if it wasn't for God, we would have failed. If it wasn't for God, if it wasn't for your spiritual team. And little did I know, throughout my life, the low I was present. As Reliever Fred was responsible for $8,000 a month. Because when I was younger, I was seeing spirits bathing in blood and stuff like that. I was like, what's your name? And they would never tell me their name. I was like, okay. And I'm going to say this and then I'm going to let this go. I said, are we going to be up here long? Look at the spirits acting up. But I remember when I was younger. No, I remember when I met Anima Solo, which is Molly Net. I remember when she came. I remember when I went, on the over your side, we know better. No, you don't do that. You don't start unless you're willing to continue. So she came. She was like, hey, I'm your mother. You could ask me for anything. I was like, nope. And at that time, I was under another godparent at the time and leaving from under that. I had to hurry up and transition. Little did I know I was almost out of time. But literally, I was like, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get this table. I'm gonna get this chair. I'm gonna get this rum. No, I'm gonna sit over here in the corner. I literally said it just like that. No, I'm gonna sit over here in the corner. No, I don't want anything. And at that time, it was a situation going on. Because by this time, I was seeking for truth on some things. I was seeking for truth. Because I was asking questions like, why do I keep going through this roller coaster? I'm doing everything you say, God. I'm doing everything you say. I'm being obedient. I ain't perfect, but I'm doing. And little things started happening that let me know, number one, you need to embrace your path. Number two, you need to see who you're among and see what's really going on. At that time, didn't know. But now I know where the spirit of lack came from, where control came from, the spirit of control. I know where all of that came from. But I said all of that to say this. You will be surprised what's walking with you, even though you don't know the name. And even though you think you crazy, you're not crazy. The stuff you see is very real. But also be okay with going and talking to someone. Because nowadays, you can go to elders and talk, and they'll talk to you. Nowadays, you can get somebody to help you. Nowadays, you just have to find that person that's pure in heart. But it ain't like it used to be where you had to sit off in corners and stuff and talk about it. Nowadays, you can talk about it. You can ask. You can take out readings. You can do all of that. But back then, when I first got started, see, I'm 48. Yeah, back then when I first got started, shit, they would call it dematic. They still calling it dematic. Until they find out the very thing that they knocking, it's the very thing that they're doing. Because words have the power of life and death. If you're still trying to control someone else's gift and trying to be over them, you're doing the very thing you're talking about. When they try to set control, doing the very thing that you're talking about. So a lot of these people, what they're calling dematic, they should really look around. Because it's a matter of your heart and your choices too. But I just wanted to share because I was told that I didn't say a lot of things in the last live that I was supposed to say. So I wanted to make sure I said everything that was supposed to be said. I said I don't want no smoke and I don't want no troubles. And again, get your readings from Shirley, get your readings from Alex, and get you a painting from Alex. And get your photos from my spiritual brother, Micah Parker Studios. Hit them up. And get your readings from my godmom, Nisha Nino. Full of wisdom. Never will steer you wrong. But don't get mad at them for speaking the truth. And pay the price and stop trying to tell people they price too damn high. And yes, I also do readings. Hit me up. I'm always around. But I love y'all. I'm going to make a end of this live unless anybody else got anything to say. I'm going to make an end of this live. And then I'm going to carry myself home because I'm sitting up here at the library like I live here. I love you too, sis. But yeah, I was just sharing what they gave me. And I'm going to wait a few moments. Because other people would have already snatched this mofo down. They done left. You got to wait and see if anybody has any input, anything they want to say. So, if nobody have no words, I'm going to get ghost. I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. And also, thanks for sharing my lives. I am so grateful. Because like I said, you could have did anything. You could post anything on your page. But I thank you. And I'm very much humble, very much grateful to the Most High and to all of you. Because we all make it something. But I will say this. I don't care what your path is. We need to come together. Because 2025 got some bullshit with it. We need to come together and take care of bigger things. Because what they planted, that ain't nothing nice. But I love y'all. Peace and prosperity and abundance under the Most High God. Peace.